Hi guys, Rita here. A friend of mine is looking for a place to buy. Okay, so she's a first-time home buyer, and she was looking for a place on Property 24 where we all go, right? And she was saying to me, Rita, I can't afford any of these properties. And I said to her, but why don't you make an offer? She said, well, sure, but what do I offer? Because I don't want to look stupid. People are going to laugh at me. Eventually, she did put in an offer, right? But she's refusing to tell me how much for. I mean, how embarrassing can it be, really? We start very low normally. But anyway, she's a bit embarrassed about what she put in, but she did put in an offer. And when she was telling me the story, I was actually remembering that first time when I actually bought a property, and the fact that I also just paid whatever was asked of me. And I never even thought to put in an offer at all. So that's what this video is all about. It's for that new home buyer that wants to know, that wants to put in an offer, and they don't know what amount to put in, because the information is actually out there freely available for anybody to use. So I'm going to show you guys exactly on my computer where to go, where to click, and the information is free. You don't have to pay a cent for it, and I'll take you through that. So please, can you just also remember to click that like button there for the video, for the YouTube algorithm, so that we can spread the word. So if you like this content, this video, then click the subscribe button so that we can notify you when we put new videos like this online. Cool. See you at the PC. Hi guys. Okay, welcome to the PC. Right, so first thing is you just go to property24.com. And obviously there's two things there that you need to look at, right? When you're looking to make an offer below offer than the asking price. The one thing is the price that the person paid for the property, right? So if it was somebody that bought the property recently, like a year or 2 years or 3 years ago, obviously their bond hasn't been paid off much yet. So they probably won't be able to drop their price a lot below what they actually paid for it, right? But I can actually show you, I'll show you now how to see what they actually paid for it on Property 24. You can see that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that if they then also bought the property maybe 10 years ago, right? So now the property might be worth 3 million, but 10 years ago they only paid 1 million for it. Obviously they know that the properties in the area has gone up. So they won't want to just accept 1 million, but even though the other properties in the area is going for 3 million, you can maybe put in an offer for like 2.5 million or even lower, depending how eager they are or how much in a rush they are to sell. You can put lower offers. But anyway, let's get into it, and I can show you where to find the data. So just go, I just researched this one before, and we can go and click on search. Right, so this is now your normal page that you should be used to, and this is the information that Property 24 will obviously give you. Right, this is what the agents are advertising the properties for, but it doesn't mean that that is what the property actually sold for at the end of the day. Okay, that it will sell for 3.6 million. They might eventually end up selling for 3 million, but you don't know that, right? You're not going to see it on this normal page over here. So what you can do is you'll see if the suburb or the estate or whatever is big enough, you'll see there's a little picture here. Oh, now we can see, but this is sort of the average price. But you want to go onto this blue button over here, see more property trends. Okay. And in here, you can now see how many properties also sold in this area over the last few years and what they sold for. There were 14 sales, 10, 8, and so on. And in 2020, there's only been one sale in this place, right? Which is very, very low, which will obviously make this data look a bit weird, because now it could be that it's like the one cheaper property in the area that actually sold, and therefore the data is now just based on one property. So it makes it look a little bit weird over there. But let's go down, and you'll see here, you can also see how people are getting more and more distressed, right? So they can't afford their houses anymore, because look at this. There used to be very little new properties coming onto the market, just 2 every year or every month, new properties. But yeah, it's double that. Okay, it's only 4, but still. It's more in June. And there's now a total, and it's not selling either. These ones, the new ones and the other ones here, they haven't sold, right? So now the total on the market is now 10. So you can see that people are trying to sell. They've been trying to sell much higher numbers than in July last year. All of a sudden, now people are looking to sell. Look how the properties on the market is increasing. And it's increasing as well, because these ones are not selling. Anyway, so let's go on. So now you can see the asking price. This is the asking price. This is what people are trying to sell for. Again, it doesn't mean that that is what it's actually selling for. And there you can actually get that information right over here. So you'll see properties for sale, estate agents, property to rent. But yeah, this is the one you're looking for. Sold prices in Valgevonden estate. So you click on there, and then you get all the streets in the estate. Say, oh, okay, let's pick this street here. So now you can see this. Here's all the properties. So number 1 sold in 2015. It was sold, or somebody bought it for 2.39 million. Number 2 was 595 in 2007. Sheesh, I wish that was me. Anyway, then you'll see that's probably the land price, what it was back then. But yeah, so you'll see here, you can literally see that these are the actual sales prices and the year that it was sold. So now, if you wanted to put in an offer like this, number 8, I think, was actually on the market. Let's go back there again. We want to see now how much we can offer for one of these properties that's actually on the market. Ah, here we go. Number 8, right? 3350. Okay, so let's go back to our little sold prices button right here at the bottom. So we're going to look for number 8, Villa de East Street. Number 8, and they wanted 3.35. So you see, in 2016, which was literally just 2 years ago, they bought this property for 2.38 million. So they're trying to literally make $1 million on this property right now. So they are going to, 4 years later, not 2 years, how am I counting? 4 years later, they want to basically get 1 million extra on their property. So for these guys, you don't know how badly they want to sell, right? If they don't want to sell, if they don't really care and they can wait for somebody to actually pay the 3.3 million, you know, then, and there's people that want to come in and buy it and they're not in a rush, then there's nothing much you can do about it. You can still put in an offer for like a little bit less or so on if you really badly want to buy it. But if you have time to wait, then it's all just about who has the time. But if they really badly wanted to sell, then you could make them an offer that's somewhere more than 2.38, but you can make it a lot less than the 3.3 that they wanted. And that is basically how you can determine how much to sell for. Now, the other trick that you can also look at, right? So then they will say, well, my neighbor sold for 3.6 million and I want my 3.3. I don't care. You can actually, I don't know if there's one now here, we might have to look in a different tab, but you can see, you can look for something that's like 2019, because remember there was only one sale in 2020, so we might have to, but like number 10 here, sold for 2.9 million in 2018, right? Which is the only one. In 2016, there was a 2.6. Here's another 2017 for 2.8. So the most that these properties have actually sold for in the street specifically is 2.9 million, right? So you can actually say to the estate agent, listen, yes, I know that this thing was only was sold for 2.9 in 2018, but the market is really bad right now. So I'm willing to pay the most that this properties I've sold for over the last 2 years. I'll pay the highest price, which is 2.9 million. And you can actually offer that. These guys would have received the 500 and something thousand. Where's number 8 again? 2.38. They would have then received about 520,000 profit on their property, but not necessarily the 3.3 that they're asking for. So you can see that you can actually negotiate a little bit more like that. Now, I just love to play with these things. So I know also that from the ads that this villa, Kiamri Street, has similar type of houses. Looks exactly the same. So let's see if there was something more recently. There in 2019, it was 3.25. That this thing actually sold for, number 6. And these houses are exactly the same, cookie cutter houses. So there was a 3.25, but the market right now, so these guys are trying to get even more than that. And I don't think that they're going to get, I think they made it to 3.35 so that the agent can get the 100,000 commission, and they based it on the top price over here. Right? So even the street, 2014, 2017, 2.4. Yeah, so I would definitely say if I would make an offer on this house for me to live in, not necessarily to rent out, because then I would take a whole lot of other things into consideration, and my offer would be completely different. But for me to live in, if I had to make an offer on that property right now, I would make an offer for 2.8, 2.7, and then try and settle on 2.9. Right, guys, I hope you have seen a little bit and learned how you can negotiate and how to determine what you can put in as an offer. You can buy a report and get a lot more information and whatever on the actual property. You can see who the bond was with, the bond amount, all kinds of extra information. But for this video, I just wanted to show you guys how you can actually see the sold prices on property 24. Hope you enjoyed that.